What is up, team? Welcome back to the Red Storm Rapid Reaction Podcast. I'm Pat Kane, flying solo today. That's all right. I'm under the weather. I'm not feeling good. My voice is shot, but St. John's is alive and well. They just went into Storrs, Connecticut, and knocked off the defending back-to-back national championship UConn Huskies, the team that has the motherfucking best coach in the league, in the world, Dan Hurley. St. John's came from as many as 14 points down, stormed back, actually took the lead going into halftime, and then I wouldn't say controlled the second half. It was a back and forth affair. They went down by as many as six, I want to say. But towards the later stages of that second half, were in control, made the plays necessary to win. Were the more composed, more physical, and the more ready to win team tonight. And we saw R.J. Lewis this time making the big shot to seal it late. A beautiful play out of bounds, got him free in the corner, and drilled a 18-footer, nothing but net to get a 4-point lead and kind of secure things with 10 seconds left. St. John's is now 21-3, 11-1 in the Big East. They go on the road to Villanova next, but it really feels good to be able to watch this huge slate of college basketball on Saturday, knowing that St. John's showed the whole entire country what St. John's fans have been seeing up to this point of the year. A relentless defensive team, a team that never quits, does enough on offense to always have a chance, and we've seen how well they've come to play at the end of basketball games. Different guys stepping up. They maintain composure, relentless activity on the boards from the whole group down the line. Even the guys who come in off the bench and don't have huge minutes have valuable fingerprints all over this game tonight. Ruben Prey had big minutes in that first half defending, helping us kind of settle in on the defensive end and grabbing some rebounds when we're really struggling early. Davon Smith, 25 minutes, playing hurt, didn't have the best shooting night. Again, he's struggling to find his rhythm since that injury, but his activity, his defense on the perimeter, a couple looks he gets for other guys. He's just a demon out there, makes things happen always around the basketball. And then Kadari had a really rough first half. 0 points, 2 fouls, didn't really get going, but had a huge second half, big plays late, jump shots, drives to the rim. How about him getting on the floor, making a beautiful, behind the head outlet pass to Scott, who threw it to threw it to Wilcher, who almost really had the fans against him for a second there, but luckily Scott followed it up. And on the topic of Wilcher, I got to tip my cap. He had a really strong post first 10 minutes of this game. He missed maybe his first 3 or 4 threes, really good looks, 2 shots that we kind of needed to, I think, to hit early to keep us within closing distance before it ballooned to, past the 14 points it was at. And Wilcher missed some shots early, but to his credit, he hung tough. He had a beautiful drive on the baseline, finished tough, hit some big threes, made some big defensive efforts, and was just all around a huge positive when we needed it later in the late stages of this game. Zuby going up against a team that makes him work so hard. I think that that has to be taken into consideration when his numbers might have didn't stand out as one of his best numbers nights tonight. But going against Johnson, going against Reed, 2 guys that are very different, but both make you work so hard. I mean, they set a million screens, they crash the boards. He's in so much defensive action. He's not always hunkered in the paint, ready to rebound. So a lot of the times when we're getting beat on the boards, it's because Zuby is doing so well of switching and being able to hang on the perimeter with guys. But, with that comes your best rebounder outside of the paint. So that has to be taken into consideration. He did finish 11 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 5 for 6 from the line, 3 for 5 overall, 37 minutes of play. So, yeah, he's going to be tired tomorrow. He led us in minutes. Scott, 4 for 5 from the field, 1 for 2 from 3, 5 rebounds, 9 points, 2 steals. Does such a good job defensively connecting us all 5 positions. Can switch 1 through 5. Really does a good job when the ball gets moved on the perimeter, finding a way to switch with our guards into the post. So he's the guy hanging around in there. Him and Gadari both do such a good job with that, getting Wilcher, getting Smith off their big guy when we do switch on the perimeter. And you can see us getting better and better at that. And as the game gets going, as you would think we'd get more tired. We seem to get fresher on the defensive side. And it could just be a focus thing. Obviously, you're in those big points of the game, everybody's locked in. And now St. John's has seemingly created an identity of a closing basketball team. Multiple guys who can have the basketball in their hands, make plays for themselves or for others. I think we got to give credit to RJ Lewis, who prior to hitting that corner jump shot, had the ball in his hands, used the pick and roll, got middle of paint, kicked it to Simeon Wilcher in the corner for a three. The fact that he was willing to give that ball up to a guy in the corner was something I'm sure fans wanted to see. Now, I've always been a believer that RJ is a really talented passer. He doesn't always have the first instinct of a talented passer, but he has that ability. And the more and more he sees that helping his offensive game as a scorer, I think he's going to realize the more and more he's willing to give up the ball earlier and easier to his teammates for some simple decisions, not just that obvious, nice, fancy assist, but just moving the basketball and getting good movement and knowing it will come back to him. And giving up the ball there in a spot where we needed to get a basket, I thought was maturity. I thought it was a good thing to see. And Simeon's shot, of course, gets blocked, but that leads to the inbounds play. And how about that inbounds play? Um, I think someone said, crap. Someone said there was an assistant coach who drew it up. I don't want to credit the wrong assistant coach because I forget it now. But Patino gave credit to an assistant for drawing that up. And it was RJ on the baseline. He wrapped around Zuby like he was going underneath it. Then he twirled back around the high side of it, and he got open free, as open as he was really all night on the baseline, fadeaway jumper, nothing but net, and giving us that 4-point cushion. Really felt let us feel a little bit more confident with 10 seconds left in Storrs, knowing that we weren't going to get the benefit late. Let's just a couple things about the refereeing, and I'm sure each side would have some stuff to say about these things. But late in that game, we had a 4-point lead. Zuby gets fouled in a scrum underneath, and the referee who called the foul made a clear and identifiable point up to the basket, which is a signal for he was going up. And then when he came out from the review, they gave him one shot as if he missed the front end of the 1-on-1. And they did go to the monitor, but the fact that he's shooting or not is not something that you review. You could review who the foul was on or where the time was when that occurred, but you couldn't change whether or not it was shooting or not. That's not reviewable. So that was awkward. And Gus Johnson, who had a very off night, did not bring it up once. Jim Jackson did not bring it up once. But hey, what are you going to do? We walked out of there with a win anyway. And there was another instance I wanted to talk about with the referees, and it's not coming to mind. Of course, McNeely has the flop gene. He's got it well. St. John's does its fair share of flopping, so I mean it's going both ways. The flagrant foul in the first half. I hate the call, but the one against Marquette was, I think, a worse call than what we got called against tonight. I just hate the fact that these guys can't make plays when they're going for shots at the rim. I don't know what you're supposed to do there. It wasn't malicious. It really didn't make contact with his head. It might have hit his hair a little bit, but you're putting the defender at such a disadvantage. And we got lucky enough to walk away with wins tonight, and we got the benefit of the call against Marquette. We weren't complaining then, but I just hate the way it goes. And I guess what are you going to do? Anyway, St. John's rocking and rolling. The 12th best team in the country, says the AP poll going into this week. A home win against Marquette, who was ranked 11th. A road win against UConn, which was ranked 19th. A lot's dependent on what happens to the other teams, obviously, in the rankings. But this does so much to provide some credibility to a lot of those guys who are just thinking they were beating B teams at best. Marquette, UConn, two of the biggest brands in the conference, the two best resumes in the conference, the two highest ranked teams other than St. John's in the conference, and you beat them back to back, one of them on the road. And you do it the same way. You do it defending. You don't wow anybody with the way you shoot. You will your way into these victories, and you just kind of demolish the spirit of these teams as you do it. And you're earning the respect of them. You're earning the respect of the fans. And I think this week you'll see St. John's even more so earn the respect of the media and the polls. How high can they jump? I don't know. To the top 5 would be quite the leap, and there's not enough teams that are going to lose, or I don't know how you're going to make that jump without the help of others. But I think you could get into seven or eighth. At least in the top 10, we're going to jump Marquette. That's for sure. Michigan State lost. We're going to jump them. I don't have the rest of the list in front of me, but St. John's is looking into the top 10 in the rankings. And now this record has some real meat to it that can hold on to it when seeding comes. And we could, at this point, we could hold our ranking if we were able or not able to, run away with the rest of our Big East conference schedule. And I don't think we should expect us to win out, but I also think we've proven we can beat any team that's in front of us. So no sense in just expecting a loss. But we could withstand that at this point and still maintain their credibility as an elite team, a team that could potentially make a run in the tournament, a team that certainly no one wants to face. And it's getting better and better. We'll see. That game at Villanova, that's a tough one. Obviously, Villanova has been very much up and down, but we know when they've been up, they've been as good as anybody. And at their place, they're starving for a win. He's starving to save his job, Kyle Neptune. But we've proven to be top dogs. Hopefully, we don't celebrate this win too much and enjoy Super Bowl Sunday and we're ready to go Tuesday night. I believe that game is against Villanova. But we'll see. A couple other just stat line stuff. 21 points, 7 rebounds from RJ. He continues to just shine amongst the Big East best. He's obviously in the discussion for Big East Player of the Year at this point. Top 5 in scoring, top 5 in rebounding on the best team in the Big East, making big plays late and defending when it matters most. He played a huge role in stopping solo ball after that guy continued his hot game versus Marquette against St. John's in the first 10 minutes and then really slowed down. Let's see what did he finish shooting. Solo ball was 3 for 7 from 3. He made at least 2 threes in the first few minutes. I think he made 3 threes in the first few minutes. 13 points. McNeely had 18 points off the bench. He is their best player. Caravan, I've been going to bat for you. I don't know for what reason, but people have been upset saying you're a bust. I just think, you are what you are, which is a really, really good player. Tonight, you were not a really good player. 3 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 for 6 from the field, 0 for 5 from 3. UConn tonight was 8 for 29 from 3. That's 28%, and they were 39% from the field. So St. John's continues to just flash its defensive strength. UConn did beat, I'm going to say us up, thank you very much, on the boards, 43-33. But a lot of that damage was done early. I think it was a 13 rebound advantage when it was like that 21-10 point game. I think we saw that minus 13 on the boards then. So from that point forward, we battled them even, if not better, which is really our identity. And, UConn had 20 points, I think, within 6 or 7 minutes in the game, and we held them to 62. So when it mattered most, our defense, we turned up the screws on it for sure. Anyway, guys, Cole apologized for not being here. He's out partying. He's got a big weekend ahead with those Philadelphia Eagles. Till next time, thank you for tuning in. Can't say how much we appreciate it. For Ben Gordon, or I don't know. That doesn't seem right. Does Ben Gordon seem right? For Ben Gordon, this has been the Red Storm Rapid Reaction Podcast. You know what? For Doug Wiggins, you know what? For what's his name? Sid Johnson. Sid. This has been the Red Storm Rapid Reaction Podcast. I'm Pat Kane.